Did you get away with writing essays like that at Ball State? I mean, how'd you graduate writing stuff like that? First of all,
I graduated with a 2.2. But
okay, now that makes sense. First of all, you got the wrong movie, and you doubled down and got the wrong superhero. You're talking about Bane when the Joker and Heath Ledger is the one that won the Oscar. That's the most memorable, right?
I don't care about the Oscar.
Okay.
I know what I saw. Bane was better than the Joker.
And you're going to tell me that The Dark Knight Rises was better than The Dark Knight? Are you kidding me? We're talking about a superhero that most people say is not even a superhero because he's actually a human with a belt. And you're trying to basically make the translation that Aaron Rodgers is a normal player and they're a super player somewhere out there in the universe. Explain yourself.
What I just explained, Marcellus, and maybe it was too confusing, too grammatically or just too literary for you.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers is Batman. Batman needs a Robin in order to be great, or they would have never written Robin into the script. And so they had Robin right there in their grasp. The Oakland Raiders stupidly trading one of the best defensive players perhaps of all time. And Aaron Rodgers partnered with Khalil Mack. That is an unstoppable duo, and they let it go. And you think somehow that game last night was proof that defensive pass rushers don't matter. Are you crazy? Khalil Mack won the game. The Bears coaching staff blew it.
Okay, movie critic aside, let's get to the meat of this conversation. I hope you're conflating turnovers for sacks. You're making the example of sacks mean it all to a football team in terms of wins and losses. That's not where you get your greatest impact. You get it from turnovers. So here's some numbers, because obviously you're not hearing my words. Here's some numbers that will support my argument. And yes, I was right. Look at yesterday. I'm just going to use yesterday as an example of the top 8 guys as sack artists. And if you look at the win-loss column, which was my point, you're going to see 3 wins, you're going to see 3 losses, and you're going to see 2 ties. What does that tell me? I'm going to pay a non-quarterback, top quarterback money to get 500 results. What franchise, what executive committee is ever going to say, yeah, 20+ million for 500 mere results?
Marcellus, the Broncos beat Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Who do you think was responsible?
Von Miller had a great game. Outlier. Keep going. You want to talk about T.J. Watt? You want to talk about last year? The top 2 sack artists?
Let me just finish. Ben Roethlisberger plays like absolute trash, and the Steelers should have lost that game. Who kept him in it?
T.J. Watt and others.
T.J. Watt kept him in it, a premier pass rusher. Myles Garrett on the other side, playing for the Cleveland Browns, who's lost every game for eternity. Somehow they get a tie against one of the most talented teams in the league, and it's because Myles Garrett clowned and acted a fool. These defensive players matter.
Look, they matter. I understand. I played the position. I get it. But I've been there, as I showed you in that full screen. I've been there with a 2-sack performance, 3-sack performance you watch and witness, and then you look at the scoreboard, we're down 20, we're down 30. It happened just last week. Last year, the top 2 sack artists, DeMarcus Lawrence, and we're talking about Chandler Jones in Arizona, the top sack artist. Not even in the playoffs. When you're talking about win-losses, we're talking about the quarterback position. Ball in hand every single play.
Damn near 50 years old last year. We just saw what, a Dak performance yesterday that says something about the Cowboys offense. Look, Marcellus, honest to goodness, you can't tell me as you watched that game last night and saw Khalil Mack single-handedly turn momentum with the sack fumble recovery, and then with the pick six, he completely turned that game, and the Bears had it. He was about to prove the entire narrative true that, look, these great defensive players, particularly guys that can get to the quarterback, I'm not saying they're the equal of a quarterback,
they're not.
But I'm not mad at all that this man is worth $140 million. He deserves that quarterback-type money. Von Miller just went out and took out Russell Wilson in Seattle.
And Von Miller played well last year in Denver, didn't sniff the playoffs. Look, here's
they had the wrong quarterback.
You're proving my point. Get the right quarterback, and it could minimize what you have on the defensive line.
Whoa. Okay, let's stay in Denver. Let's stay with Von Miller.
Because you don't want to go on Khalil Mack. And you don't want to go back and hit Oakland Raiders.
Let's just stay on
and the
Denver.
bad defenses.
Let's just stay on Denver. Who did Von Miller not just carry Peyton Manning to a Super Bowl title and completely destroy the opposition?
Him and others, yes. Hold on. So you want to act genius on this subject, and I understand right now I'm your adversary. You're not trying to support my argument, so let's go to someone else who is deemed a genius. Bill Belichick, who saw a young terror in Chandler Jones. And guess what Bill Belichick said to that same Chandler Jones? Adios. Peace out. And that's how the game goes. A guy like Chandler Jones now finds himself getting sacks, racking up sacks on an Arizona team that no one is saying is going to sniff the playoffs.
Marcellus.
I'm listening.
Chandler Jones.
I'm listening.
Is a guy that put up nice numbers.
What you mean nice? The nicest last year?
I know.
Okay, the nicest. Yep.
Look,
all right.
In Kansas City, I saw a guy named Eric. I hope if you're watching, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I saw a guy named Eric Hicks put up 14 sacks one season.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, nice tip hat, nice season. But he's not a major problem. It was a nice season. Chandler Jones, nice player. But when you start talking about Khalil Mack, Von Miller, J.J. Watt in his prime, T.J. Watt looks like the second coming right now.
J.J. Watt in his prime, win losses. You really want to go there? And it would be easy to tip your hat if you wore your fedora anymore. I mean, where the fedora at, man? What happened?
It'll be here tomorrow.
Okay.
It'll be here tomorrow.
Okay, budget cuts, huh? I mean, I get on the show all of a sudden.
We had to make room for you.
But here's the thing. You make this mistake as many fans make. Football is a game of skill, but it's a greater game of will. So when you want to add up superstar Aaron Rodgers with Khalil Mack, oh my God, devastating. There's no way that's going to lose. I've seen a dream team Eagles lose when they constructed a roster that no one else could be. I see Cincinnati every year roll out one of the most talented rosters. Dallas of yesteryear roll out the most talented rosters. And then you look up, can't even win a playoff game. So my argument is whether you have a star player on the D-line or not, that guy does not have the same impact as a quarterback who can go out there and have an average game and you can win versus a superstar, historic effort from Khalil Mack, and they're still on the short end of the stick.
That's because of the coaching and the stupidity of the Chicago Bears. I just want, honestly, and I know I'm moving off the defensive end.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, how do you explain the whole Baltimore Ravens, Ray Lewis dynasty? How do you explain any of that? That for 15, 16, 17 years, Ray Lewis set a tone in Baltimore and made them a perennial threat to win their division and to win a Super Bowl. It's like you don't respect the defensive side of the game, and you falling for this trap.
You falling for all these traps.
That it's the John Madden video era of football, and you don't have to play any defense.
You done fell into that trap. Now you're going to my era. Why? I'm sitting up here ringless because I played against the Baltimore Ravens with a Ray Lewis. It was an entire team effort in which you can even ask Ray Lewis, hey, man, I had free roam playing the position in part because our defensive line was told two things. Yeah, get after the quarterback, but make sure those old linemen do not get to the second level. And you know that's how that defense was constructed. Don't try to change the argument. Don't move the goalposts. We're talking about up front a Khalil Mack, a Peter Boware of those days.
You just compare Khalil Mack to Peter Boware.
Peter Boware had years. Terrell Suggs of today. Would you give Terrell Suggs, even though of age?
He's in his 30s, man.
And he's still putting up numbers. My point is.
Putting up numbers. Von Miller and Khalil Mack and some of these guys, they're special. There's a different layer than just putting up numbers.
Agree.